What's up, everybody? Welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, and that's the one, the only. It is Scott Savage. Scott, what's going on, man?
I'm a little extra tired. Last night I was up real late doing the speed runs of 007, unlocking those cheat codes.
How's that going? Going well? You making it? You covering?
It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Well, I'm starting to realize I do have a lot of these levels like the back of my hand.
Nice. Just like riding a bike, right?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I've been, what am I playing right now? Hi-Fi Rush. I'm doing that, playing that one for the show, and I just downloaded Age of Empires 2.
Oh, we're gonna have to play again. We're gonna have to play a few rounds of that one.
Absolutely. But what everybody can be doing right now is joining us. You're a little later than usual, but normally at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, as well as youtube.com/theofficialitgs, where you can catch us live. If you can't catch us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, we got a hot show today. Oh man, do we have a lot to talk about. Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo not going to E3 once again. Is this the rise of Summer Game Fest taking over E3? Sony cuts PSVR 2 pre-orders after disappointing pre-orders. Did not go very well. And is PlayStation teasing the next Uncharted? Dude. Yeah, I got a lot to talk about today, Scott. So I hope you're ready, buddy, because I'm ready to go. Kat Bailey starts us off with an exclusive from IGN. Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony won't be a part of E3 2023. This is
This does follow up the news we had before. Xbox wants to set up their own event in LA.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Now it's starting to see why.
E3's first physical event in 4 years was supposed to be the triumphant return for the trade show, an opportunity to recapture some of the excitement of past conventions, which historically have been major showcase events for the games industry. However, it appears that when E3 2023 hits the LA Convention Center in June, it will be without three of the most important draws. IGN has heard from multiple knowledgeable sources that Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo won't be a part of E3 2023 or have a presence at the LA Convention Center show floor. Scott, right then and there sets it up. Dude, is it the end of E3? Do we need, I think the bigger question really now at this point is, do we need E3?
It appears that this may be the end. And I think it's been telegraphed for a long time now, because was it Sony or was it Nintendo that was the first to step away? They started doing their own. It was either the State of Play or the Direct. But
yeah,
that set the tempo for what was going to happen over the next few years.
And then we've seen it just drastically change, right? I wonder now, this is where we get in. There's so many showcases going on. And it's like, do we need a E3? We have Summer Game Fest. We've seen the rise of Jeff Keighley just kind of take over our industry in a sense, right? He's our go-to now at this point. Sony bailed, started doing, they had PlayStation, they had their own event at one point. PlayStation, oh man, I can't remember. It's been so long. It was back when like PS Vita days were around. But they had their own little event. Now they do State of Play. Right, we see State of Play. We see our Xbox and Bethesda do their own showcase now as well. We see that all the time now from, well, not all the time, but we do get it from them. And then we got Sony's, we got Nintendo Direct. Like, everybody's showcasing their own, so that way they don't have to wait till June. They don't have to wait to hold back all their big reveals.
Even the Xbox Direct or Developer Direct, this direct to the consumer kind of messaging. I think I'm overall a fan. But it is still sad to see something like E3 pass before I was eligible to arrive there myself.
I'm right there with you. I have not made it to E3 as much as I would love to. It's just one of those events that we haven't been able to attend yet in person. And now that it is back, what happens, right? Because we used to have, how'd that go? It was Xbox on Sunday, PlayStation, Ubisoft on Monday, and then Tuesday would be Nintendo. And like, dude, my week that week was just completely filled with E3 stuff.
Did EA have its own segment? I think normally it would have a devoted time slot.
EA had they went to like an EA Play Live or something like that, right? They have their own event, and now you see Ubisoft doing their own Ubisoft Connect kind of thing. Like everybody now is just taking their own pocket of the industry and creating their own event and not worrying about being at E3, not worrying about having to pay all this money, get into the showcase kind of thing, right? And then we get into Summer Games Fest, because let's talk about Jeff Keighley and the rise from what he's done, where he's come from, right? Being like the media, just like us, and then working with ESA to get in there and help them with E3 and things like that. And then at one point, dude, he's just like, I don't like where their head is at with this. This isn't going to work. And I think we're kind of starting to see that Jeff's prediction understand now where he was thinking that they should have taken it and they're not. So he's like, well, forget it. I'm out. I'm going to do my own event. And now look at it, right? Jeff is really kind of taking the reins, taking charge of E3 and just more or less overshadowed them now. It is now, you talk about Summer Game Fest, because what happens at Summer Game Fest? Dude, you get everybody. You get Xbox, you get PlayStation, you get Bethesda, you get everybody who's got something to show goes to Jeff. They don't go to E3. Mm-hmm. So it's funny how that's changed around.
It's now, we've replaced E3 with Key 3 for Keighley.
Yeah, yes, we have. As Summer Game Fest, and Jeff Keighley is really just kind of taking the spotlight away now, which is understandable.
I think it was on track to happen anyways, but the shutdown of the last 3 years is certainly what's accelerated this now. People are realizing what they could go with and without, and I think that means E3 is in the past.
It is, but here's the other opportunity then. What about all the indies? Right? Mm-hmm. What if they now change their focus? Get away from the big three, because the big three want nothing to do with you anymore at this point. So change your direction a little bit. Move into the world of indies. We've seen like, what's the Prime Matter showcase? Right? We've seen all these other ones. And, what's going on, Koopas? It is like there's so many other showcases now at this point. Why don't you try and combine some of them into your E3 location, or dude, just shut down E3 like that? That's the other thing. I think E3 is gonna be around a little bit. THQ Nordic has their own showcase, right? Like, why don't you start pulling in from all these others who aren't the big three? Because if you're looking to keep it alive, you want to showcase to the media what's going on. I don't want to stand there on the show floor for hours on end. Dude, we've been to events where we get, okay, hey, you pop over, we'll get you in, you can play test the game and talk about a game. They still need that. Indies need it more than anybody, because PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo have the ability to showcase whatever they want, whenever they want. Hey, here's the next Last of Us. Dude, everybody's going to blow their mind. Like, they're just going to go like, oh crap, everybody tunes in. Here, we just need to see something different, right? Same here in the UK.
I like your idea.
None of the big E3 return to any of the expos. Exactly. Yeah, I think they just need to change the direction. What are your thoughts, Scott?
I really like the idea of an indie kind of showcase. We've seen the Xbox indie showcase happen before, and there needs to be more of a spotlight put on that crew, because you're right, sure. The big three just kind of drown everybody out with their ginormous releases. But at the same time, those are never going to slip away out of consciousness. We're always going to be aware of those. They don't necessarily need a huge event to pitch those.
No, they don't, right? Where we do need some of the smaller titles to have the spotlight, to take over, right? Because when you talk about E3, you always talk about, man, did you see what Xbox showcased? Holy, did you see that Fable? Holy, did you see what PlayStation had on the table? Look at Spider-Man 2's coming out. Look at this. And then all the cool things, like do we keep coming back to replace on Xbox? That is a small title, and it's an indie title, and that thing looks awesome. But we don't see much about it because it's overshadowed by what Xbox is already working on. Starfield, Redfall, right? All these other titles are getting the major spotlight. So maybe this is something that E3 can focus on and make it a different event. Make it a more cozier event. We'll see what happens with the future E3. But dude, I've been saying E3 has been different and long gone for a long time because everybody's just branching out. So I can't say I'm all that surprised.
I feel like it really has, in a way, just changed names. Now Jeff Keighley has kind of saved that event style. It's changed its name, but the purpose remains.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Dude, I want to get into PSVR 2 because this is an interesting conversation. PSVR 2 out this month. So let's talk about it, because Sony slashes PlayStation VR headset output after pre-orders disappoint. This is Takahashi over at Bloomberg. Scott, I nailed it. You see that, dude? You should be impressed.
I believe that Takashi.
Oh, come on! Sony Group
I have to correct you.
reduced projections for the initial launch of the PlayStation VR 2 headset dramatically after early pre-orders disappointed, signaling little improvement for the hyped up, unproven virtual reality sector. The company halved its forecast for shipments of the PSVR 2, which is set for a February 22nd release this quarter to about a million units, said people familiar with this deliberation. Sony had previously aimed to have 2 million headsets ready for launch. Scott, dude, there's a lot to unpack here as to what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, their sales forecast at the shallowest look at this means they're not quite pre-order selling as many as they expected. And that's for a lot of different reasons. I think I've seen some discussion on that online as to what could be the reason for this lack of sales. Keep in mind, it's all pre-sales, though.
Sure.
But there's several contributing factors. One is not much of a marketing budget really has been put towards this. Not that I've seen.
Nope.
Actually, I've yet to see one commercial, I believe.
Dude, okay, I'm gonna stop you quick right there, because you know what commercial we did see recently? Hey, PlayStation 5s are back in stock. We got that instead of PlayStation VR 2 stuff, which is out this month. Like, you need to push, you need to sell these units, but yet you put out a, hey, PS5 are back on the shelf store. Like, it's weird.
They're still making the foundation before they're putting up the second floor.
Yeah, right. Which I get it, but at the same time, people know, dude. If they see a PS5 on the store shelf, they're gonna run and they want to get it. Like, that's just, Scott, you should get yours. And then PSVR 2 is something you need to sell on top of this, right? But dude, we're now into this month of here. We should have a whole lineup. We have 30 games coming out for PlayStation VR 2. You know what's not there though? Half-Life Alyx. How is Half-Life Alyx not here?
That is one that I was thinking of. I wanted to bring that up because is that specifically just locked to the Meta Steam ecosystem? Is that why they will not relinquish it on the PlayStation? Is it some sort of legal battle? Or perhaps it would just cost too much and they can't really fork that out? But you'd expect to receive that back in the form of sales and revenue. So in my opinion, that would be a great move. So, perhaps it's not for sale, though.
We've already kind of talked about this a little bit on the show. Is Call of the Mountain, right, from Horizon, from Guerrilla Games, is the go-to selling title here, as far as we're all concerned, I believe, right? A lot of out of the 30, like half of them are already on other platforms. But if you were to bring over Half-Life Alyx, dude, that's a big selling feature right there as well. That's a huge get for PlayStation fans who don't have the capabilities or don't have an HTC, right? They don't have the Vive unit to go in to play this. Here they are. They're already invested in PlayStation. They can then now get Half-Life Alyx. Everybody's waiting for some kind of Half-Life anything. So here they are. Yeah. They jump in. But at the same time, it's just, what is next? There's no showcase. Where is the state of play showcasing, hey, here's these games, right? You already know what games you're getting. Forget those. Enjoy them when they come out on the 22nd, blah, 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 blah. Here's the next 6 months. Here's the next year lineup. Here's what's in development. Showcase why we want to buy this, and that my headset isn't going to be over on the shelf like my PSVR 1 was after a little while and collecting dust. I don't want this thing to collect dust when I get it, because I want to be invested into this world. But if you don't have anything else past the 30-day launch title, or the 30 titles at launch, then why else am I going to spend it? Brad once mentioned that it's like an $800 Call of the Mountain game. Right?
That's an interesting way to think about it, yeah.
Because everybody wants to jump in for that one title, but after that, what else you can stick around for?
I have to admit my weakness. I played Robo Recall at your house, and I decided that day, that very hour, I decided I'm getting set up with a VR headset. And, well, I think it was around $1,300 later. Now I'm set, ready to go.
Yeah, so VR is.
I've certainly extracted my value out of it, though, between Half-Life Alyx and Lives Beneath and many others.
Well, okay, so what else is in development? Scott, Insomniac Games have made VR titles. We do know that they're working on Spider-Man 2. We do know they're working on Wolverine. But when you have Insomniac, wouldn't you ask them, maybe, hey, can you help us out? You have made, Edge of Nowhere. You have made Stormland, dude. Remember Stormland?
Oh, Stormlands.
Uh,
Oh, that was such a hit with me.
like they they have made incredible games for VR. Why wouldn't they help out here? You already have Gorilla launching with a game, right? Does
Mhm.
Insomniac now step up and say, "Hey, we got Stormland 2 we got you covered, Stormland 2 now coming over here," or that brand new IP? I don't want Spider-Man in VR. I've seen that; it has
I was
not worked
thinking about
out.
that.
Nope, it's just not
No,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
If a slight water surface gives me issue, and it does,
Yeah.
Spider-Man is going to be a hard sell.
No, absolutely. But there are some cool games in the 30 that I think people are gonna pick and choose at. But then after
Moss, I
this,
believe, was one.
dude, Moss 1 and 2. Like if you haven't played those, I'm telling you right now, incredible. Go play them. But I'm really worried for the future of where does this land? Are we gonna get a PlayStation Vita situation here? And they're just gonna let it
Mm.
fizzle out and die? Like that's my concern because we don't know what else is coming. And it's
Uh,
out
we need
this month. Like that's the
we
biggest
need
problem.
more of the PlayStation first-party developers to really throw their weight behind this. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that there hasn't been a big push. There is no marketing behind this thing, and I'm just baffled. Like, man, but yet we saw a teaser for PS5 that's out, which then leads us into our next topic, Scott. New PlayStation ad might be hinting at a new Uncharted game. It's Jason over at GameSpot. And I'm going to try and find it here. Once we get to it, I will stop it. Let me see if I can scrub through. Hang on one sec.
Didn't
Where
we just talked about how Uncharted may be a thing of the past for the next short term as well?
correct. It is not, though. And then I said it's interesting, right? Because it was brought up that Naughty Dog is moving on, which I fully think they will. Okay, I missed it somewhere. They are moving on. But who's taking over? I think that's the bigger question for me. Somebody else, I think, at PlayStation Studios will be taking over and leading the next iteration of what Uncharted will be, what the future holds. Because I don't think they're done with Uncharted. I don't think they're done at all. I think the way they set it up in Uncharted 4, right there, right there. I just found it. It's a small little bit. Hang on, I got it. I got this, Scott. I got this. It's we're almost there, almost there. Right
All
there.
right, we're making a new
Here it
Uncharted
is.
starring Lara Croft. And
Okay, so this is the thing. This picture here is of a female character, right? In what could look like Uncharted. Kind of that gives you that vibe. But who's the female character? Spoilers for the end of Uncharted 4. This game has been out forever. And just close your ears, I guess, for 20 seconds. But dude, that's Drake's daughter. I'm telling you, that's where this story picks up. This is where it goes off from here. And then we get into a whole spin-off of the Uncharted franchise. And that's kind of where we're going. Okay, let's get it back into into the article.
Don't spoil this for me, but I have a prediction.
Okay.
That God of War is going to go the same way. No,
Uh,
I have not played Ragnarok yet. In fact, I haven't finished 2018, so I just have ideas. I'm a wealth of ideas.
A new ad for PlayStation 5 was uploaded to the official PlayStation YouTube channel that may be hinting at a new adventure in the Uncharted franchise, one with a new, younger Drake as a protagonist. The live from PlayStation 5 ad shows a live-action version of multiple games in the PS5 library in a local news format. We see glimpses of Spider-Man, Aloy from Horizon, Kratos and Atreus from God of War, and many more. However, among the rapid-fire scenes towards the end of the video, a young girl is shown holding a torch in a dark cave with a shiny object on a pedestal in front of her. Dude, I'm telling you right now, that's exactly where this is heading, and we will... Who is working
That
on
little
this?
description made me think of Indiana Jones, which this is an opportunity to point out. Indiana Jones in this setting would be an amazing series.
Well, it's Bethesda's working on an Indiana Jones game. So it's coming on the Xbox side, not PlayStation. Dude, the thing for me though, who's working on this? Like this is something. This is coming. Who and when are we going to see anything on it? That's the man. My hands are cold today, dude. But the coffee's really nice and warm. It's funny because I'm thinking like Ben Studio did Golden Abyss back on PS Vita. Rest in peace. And so that's coming around and going, is Ben working on like what are they working on now? Because they're not doing a Days Gone 2 because nobody will let them over at PlayStation. They said it didn't work, right? So are they taking over the reins now and going with this younger version for Uncharted and moving the franchise in a spin-off direction, I'll call it, more than anything else, right? Dude, I'm excited. I hope to see something more with Uncharted. I think there is room for it to come back around. But yeah,
There is still hunger out there for it.
absolutely. But
How many Uncharted games has there been now?
there's
5 or 6?
So there's 4 main ones. And then we get into like Lost Legacy DLC and things like that. So
Okay.
yeah, there's a couple others as well. And then you get the Nathan Drake collection, but that's just a bunch of all the games. So yeah, there's like
That's why I'm being confused,
4.
I think.
Yeah, there's a solid 4, and then Lost Legacy is there as well. But like it's man, oh man, Naughty Dog's moving on. We know that. It would make total sense, right? They've done Uncharted, they've done The Last of Us. Now they want to branch out into something else. Here we go. This is where are they going to go? We've heard rumors of a fantasy game in development over there, which is a completely new spin-off. And then I think they'll come back to Last of Us Part 3. But either way, Scott, we do have
I would love to see what they do in sci-fi.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, me too. Sci-fi. I'm curious to see what this fantasy game is about, man, if that's what rumors are leading to be. We do have a couple new game announcements today, though. What do we have?
That's right. The Crew Motorfest has officially been announced, coming sometime in 2023. There was a trailer that had dropped last night, and it shows in-engine 4K footage. And although it wasn't any gameplay, it was pre-rendered cutscenes in-engine. So there is that to take into account. But
if you wouldn't have told me this was Ubisoft, I would have said this was Forza Horizon 6.
It does look quite nice now, doesn't it?
I'm like, this is just the Forza series. This is the Horizon games coming over.
Well, we are also going to have to get back into Ghostbusters. Free Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed DLC. Creep into the facility, a condemned property recently purchased by a private investor group who have plans to renovate and reopen the facility. So you get called in as the Ghostbusters to clear that up. And well, if you've played the game, you know how that's going to play out.
Absolutely. And you get a new
personally,
ghost
it means
as well.
Drew here is going to beat us badly.
I can rock a ghost.
We do have, you're really good at it. We do have a few full game releases, and that is Rhythm Sprout, Sick Beats, and Bad Sweets. I like that title. That is on PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, X, and S. Pulling No Punches arrives on the Mac system. Football Manager 2023 is now on the PlayStation 5. It is just released on the new gen. And Albacete Warrior is now experiencing a console release. I think that had already been on PC for about a year now.
Nice. Dude, I want to get back into the world of Ghostbusters. It's been a while. We have stepped away from that. And we talked about, too, when we get into this franchise and what Ilphonics is building over here, what they've created, I think is a solid foundation, is how do they keep that going, right? Free DLC, definitely a way to do that. How do they keep the lights on, though, Scott? I think that's my biggest thing, right? If you keep going free, we're on your server, we're playing your game, we're having a great time. New ghosts keep us coming back. Dude, I want to unlock more and more and more, right? They have a couple different variations. We're getting Muncher, which is fantastic to see him finally kind of transition over to our space here now in the world of Ghostbusters. It's funny because we jumped in it the other day. Who couldn't connect? Or is it one of us didn't have it downloaded or something like that, maybe?
I don't have it downloaded. I think that was me.
That's what it was. It was your fault. So, so obviously it's time for you to download that again.
I was going to blame Darren.
We can blame him. I don't mind. But I'm excited. Dude, are you excited to get back into the world of Ghostbusters?
I really am. I enjoy this game a lot more than I expected to. And it kind of gives me the Friday the 13th vibe, that same kind of feeling of being chased. That asynchronous kind of multiplayer is a lot of fun to me. And I don't believe there's a license disagreement on this title.
It's not going to get shut down on them, hopefully, right? So it is exciting. It's charming to pick up and just chill out and have a good time with your friends. This is a 5-person game, even with one of you as a ghost. It is the way to play this game. Right, it's just an absolute blast. So
where's the Nightmare on Elm Street one now?
Maybe they're working on that one too. Who knows, Scott? But what I do know is that's the end of the show. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on Twitch and YouTube at the official ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later InsideTheGame.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew. That's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.